Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be updating my DVD collection, my DVD watch-along, and it's a bit of an end of an era this time. We say goodbye to some characters and hello to some more. So without further ado, let's get started. Now last time's video ended on the web planet. I will put the link in the description below for parts 1 and parts 2 of my DVD watch-a-thon, but let's get started with so there we go, there's the Space Museum. This one's quite a fun episode really. You can really see all the characters just running around having a lot of fun, to be honest. The Doctor, when he gets inside the Dalek casing and sticks his head out, I think that is him as an actor just having fun. It really is. You can see him, happiness in his face. A really, really nice episode. And kind of different as well. Kind of the TARDIS lands before it should do, if that makes sense. You need to watch it if you don't understand that. But they kind of get there before they should get there, so they kind of see what's going to happen to them before it happens. Yeah, really nice episode, that one. Kind of nice to see different alien artifacts in the Space Museum. Next up, we got the chase. Now this is another Dalek story, which is very different for a Dalek story in actual fact, because it's not the Daleks invading a planet. It's actually the Daleks chasing the Doctor. It's actually the first time I think that the Daleks refer to the Doctor and his companions as his worst enemy, or as their worst enemy. And it's nice to see a different take on a Dalek story. Kind of is several different stories. The first 2 episodes start off on a planet with two suns and the Maya beast taking over the planet. We kind of didn't get closure to that story really. The Maya beast started to take over, and then the Doctor left with the Daleks chasing them. So it'd be nice to sort of see where that story goes. They also go to New York City. Now this is quite a funny little episode, just only 1 episode long, where they go to New York and then they go off somewhere else. But it's quite funny. One of the characters up there keeps missing how the TARDIS appears and disappears, and then the Daleks chase him everywhere he goes. So yeah, it's really nice to see a different take on a Dalek story. And then we see a little glimpse of new companion Stephen. He doesn't actually become a companion in this episode, but he is in the last one. And a little surprise, I didn't expect to see the end of Ian and Barbara, but they finally got what they wanted, and they finally got to go home. And they go back 2 years later, 1965, and alive and well. So it'd be nice to see one day the Doctor go back and visit them. I guess in classic Who, the Doctor didn't go back to revisit his companions. Once the companions had gone, that was it. They'd gone home, they do what they do, they left the TARDIS, and he didn't see them again. But yeah, at least we know they're alive and well, they're not dead. And it is a nice ending for them, really nice ending for them. Okay, so next up we've got the Time Meddler, which is Stephen Taylor's first episode as a companion. And this one's quite a nice one. The Time Meddler is, I don't know if he's another Time Lord, but he's certainly got a TARDIS of his own. So it's nice to see another character in the show that's kind of like the Doctor, I suppose, but an evil side to him, maybe. It's a nice one to introduce Stephen though. He gets into the action straight away. He dashes about, he just wants to do his own thing, Vicky kind of tries to hold him back, but he just wants to get out there and see and do what he wants to do. But yeah, really nice this one. Nice to see another TARDIS as well. Even though it looks the same, it has got a different feel to it. A really nice one, and nice to see how the Doctor traps the Time Meddler there and gives us kind of hope that we may see him again one day, when he says he may forgive him and release him from this time. So maybe the door's left open for him. Now then, we take a little bit of a jump to the Ark. There's about 5 episodes, I think, that are missing in between the Time Meddler and the Ark. So we've still got Stephen, but now instead of Vicky, she's gone off somewhere. We've left her. We don't get to see how she leaves, which is a shame. But now we've got Dodo. And this is a different episode, in actual fact. It's kind of 2 different stories. It's the same planet, same actor, same characters, same aliens, I suppose, the monoids. The first 2 episodes start with Dodo. She has a cold, as we all have a cold these days. We have a runny nose and we get over it. But yeah, she spreads to these creatures and kills them off. Kind of reminds me of the life we live in at the minute with the COVID-19 pandemic. I know it's just common cold, but it kind of is similar in a way that they don't know what this disease is, how they get around it, how they get better. But they do. The Doctor fixes up a cure for it and cures them all in the end. And then the next 2 episodes are where the monoids take over the planet and they sort of turn evil in the end. So it's nice to see sort of 2 different sides to an alien, where they're kind of working with the humans, and then afterwards they're going against them. So a nice one, that one. It's nice to sort of see Dodo for the first time. She's a nice character. It's a shame that we didn't see the end to Vicky and the start of Dodo. But still, nice episode, that one. Now we come to the Gunfighters. Now this one is a typical Western type episode. Now I've never really been a massive fan of Westerns, so I didn't particularly like this one. The first episode I quite enjoyed, because they all seem to be singing, dancing, and they seem to be just having a right old laugh, to be honest. They seem to be having a great time. Through all of the Doctors, William Hartnell's era, he just seems to grow and he seems to have more and more fun as the time goes on. You can really see that he enjoys playing the Doctor, that the Doctor is him. He really did enjoy it. It did sort of drag on a bit, but for me, because I don't really like Westerns anyway, I think that's why I didn't like it so much, perhaps. So I rate this one quite low down, but it's a nice episode, it's a nice filler. We've still got Dodo and Stephen in that one as well. The next one I've watched is The War Machines. This is a nice modern present day story, so it's back in 1966. And Dodo is still with the Doctor in this one, but we've lost Stephen, so he's obviously left the Doctor in another episode that was missing along there, so it's a shame that we don't get to see his exit as well. But nevertheless, I like this episode. It's a really nice one. We get to see the post office tower. It's recently built, and I love the War Machines robot, I suppose, the computer. They're really great. I don't know whether they're not monsters, are they? They are essentially computers, so they're really nice in how they just roll along. But then the Doctor outwits them and takes them over for himself and defeats them eventually, obviously. And this episode we see Ben and Polly for the first time. Now it introduces them. Now I really like Ben and Polly from this first episode. They are great characters. They're kind of like a young Ian and Barbara. Kind of gives another take on a companion, a young couple rather than a middle-aged couple as such. They're really nice to see. I was a bit disappointed in the exit to Dodo. She got taken over by the computer, got hypnotised, and then she got sent to sleep for 48 hours, and then we didn't see her again. At the end of the episode, she just said, "I'm staying here," or got Polly to relay the information. She's going to stay here, and that was that. It was kind of an emotional exit for her. So, but now we've got Ben and Polly, and I really do like them as companions. Now we miss another episode again, when Ben and Polly at the end of the War Machines, they sort of have a key and let themselves into the TARDIS. It would have been nice to see what the Doctor made of that. Maybe one day they'll come out. All these missing episodes will come out. They'll be found, and we'll be able to see them all again. But until then, who knows? So next up we've got the 10th Planet then, which is indeed the last episode for William Hartnell. I really like these original Cybermen. There's something about the sort of... it's a face, but because there's no expression and no emotion there's something really quite creepy about it. And because you can see their eyes underneath a little bit, you can really feel that they used to be humans which have been transformed. There's really something quite creepy about it. I don't really think the Doctor had anything to do with the plot in this one. I think it was just, for him, it was a story to exit. It didn't really have anything to do with killing the Cybermen. He spent one of the episodes asleep because, as he says himself, his body is wearing a bit thin. It's a nice episode though. Ben and Polly really take it to their own, and they like what they're doing. And I love them even more as the characters. But as I said, it would have been nice after the War Machines to see how the Doctor reacted to Ben and Polly coming aboard the TARDIS. But Ben and Polly do carry on into Patrick Troughton's era of the Doctor, and that's where I'm up to. So a bit of an end of an era. Next one I have got is The Power of the Daleks. We do have Lost in Time DVD, which I'm not necessarily going to watch because there's only a handful of episodes in that one. It's not a full story. But the next one I've got is The Power of the Daleks, which is a fully animated story because it's all of it is missing, which is a shame, but it's nice that they can animate them so we can see them nowadays. And that brings us to the end of this week's watch along. And to sum up the first Doctor's era, I mean, I love this era. Now watching it back again, I love it a lot more than I used to. I can really see how Doctor Who did get started and how people really did love it, because I love it. Even though it's in black and white, it kind of feels like it's in colour. You kind of forget that it's in black and white in a way. And I think it's a really nice ending to Ian and Barbara's story. I think it's nice that we actually got to see that. We actually get most of Ian and Barbara's story in there. There's only 2 episodes, I think, that we don't get to see of theirs, which is nice. It's just such a shame that we can't see the ending to Stephen, how Dodo joined the TARDIS, etc. But maybe one day in the future, maybe we will see some animation of the episodes, perhaps, like they have done with Power of the Daleks and the Macra Terror, among others, of Patrick Troughton era. So maybe they are working on it. But we'll see. Maybe they will even become available and be found somewhere in the world that they've been sent off to, rather than being binned. But we'll see. Anyway, so next time I really look forward to seeing Patrick Troughton's Doctor, see where he takes it, and I'd love to see where Ben and Polly go. So I love their characters. Ben and Polly are really good. Like, because they're quite younger as well, they can do a lot more of the physical things. And I think Patrick Troughton, because he's younger than William Hartnell, we might be able to dash about a bit more and be a bit more active as the Doctor. But we'll see. Next one I've got anyway is the Power of the Daleks. I will upload again next week with my progress. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. That's been me, Sam P. Over and out.